give it welcoming. So I want to welcome everyone who's here today, all the veterans, friends, and family, and all of our Iraqi friends, and Ms. Campbell, who is a survivor from the Hiroshima bombings, 1945. I think this is a wonderful testimony to our efforts to have a real Memorial Day event for the real purpose of Memorial Day, which is to remember all the brothers and sisters and all victims of war and all those who are coming home with the battle scars of war, both physically and mentally. And I received an email just yesterday, actually, when I read it, and I'm going to read this for you. It's by Cameo Macbika, and it's in Truth Out. It was an op-ed, and it says, "Don't thank me for my service. I do not want to appear disrespectful or ungrateful, but should we meet on the street one day, do say hello or fine day or other such nicety. But please do not thank me for my service as a United States Marine. I make this request because my service, as you refer to it, was basically either to train to become a killer or to actually kill people and blow shit up. Now, that is not something for which a person should be proud nor thanked. In fact, it is regrettable, and for me a source of guilt and shame, something I will have to live with for the rest of my life, as the past cannot ever be undone. So when you thank me for my service, it disturbs me a lot. First off, it brings to mind my wasted youth and lost innocence, and the horrible and unnecessary deaths of good friends and comrades. Second, it reminds me of my responsibility and culpability for the pain and suffering I caused innocent people. Again, something I would rather forget, but cannot. Third, it reinforces my belief that you have absolutely no idea about the nature and reality of wars in Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan, because if you did, you would understand that thanks are inappropriate. Fourth, it reminds me that many of those who feel the need to offer thanks were apathetic about, or even supportive of, the war, while they refused to participate themselves and did little or nothing to end it. And lastly, I have to admit that I doubt the sincerity of these expressions of supposed gratitude as thank you for your service. It's just something to say, not because you care about what I did or sacrificed, but only to demonstrate your supposed good character or patriotism and or support the members of the military and veterans. In making this request, not to be thanked for my service, I am of course expressing only my opinion and perhaps my idiosyncrasies, and I make no claim to be speaking for other veterans. I would wager, however, that many, perhaps even most, who have expressed the horrors of war and have the courage and presence of mind to think about and evaluate what the war they served in was truly about, would understand and probably concur with this request. And I believe the veterans that are here today do concur with that request. Those veterans, however, who may not agree, who cling to the mythology of heroism, glory, and honor and nobility of war, do so in large measure for fear that acknowledging war's reality would somehow diminish their sacrifice and the sacrifices of those whose lives were lost. So in the future, if you really insist on thanking me for something, do not thank me for the 8 years I spent as a Marine, but for the 45 or so years following my discharge from the military that I have spent as an activist fighting for human rights and social justice and the end the insanity of war. Frankly, however, I would prefer that you just say hello, or fine day, or other such nicety. You see, my activism all those years warrants no praise or merit, and is not something I choose to do. Rather, I do it because I must. Perhaps as penance for my culpability for the sacrifice of war, sacrilege of war. And if you truly want to demonstrate your good character, patriotism, and support for the troops and veterans, rather than merely mouth meaningless expressions of gratitude or something you don't truly understand or care about much, do something meaningful and real. Do what is truly an interest of this nation and those victimized by war. Make some demands. Demand, for example, an immediate end to the corporate takeover of our democracy and to the undue influence of the military-industrial congressional complex. Demand sanity in Pentagon spending and reallocation of finite resources to people focused on programs such as healthcare, education, and jobs, rather than to killing and destruction. Demand an immediate end to wars for corporate profit, greed, power, and hegemony. Demand that we adhere to the Constitution and to international law. Demand accountability for those who make war easily and care more for wealth, profit, and power than for national interest and for the welfare of their fellow human beings. And finally, demand the troops to be brought home now and that they be adequately treated and cared for when they return. So should we meet on the street one day, do say hello or fine day. And as you talk to me about your efforts to make this country and the world a better and more peaceful place in which to live, I would be happy to thank you for your service. So we have recently lost a very dear friend, and a very dear friend of the peace movement, Charlie Richardson, co-founder of the Military Family Speak Out, passed away 3 weeks ago. And we're all at a loss. And I would like to invite Bonnie Gorman and Nancy coming up, and Nancy Lesson, Charlie's wife, to come up and say a few words in remembrance of our friend Charlie.
Thank you. Well, it's my honor and privilege to pay a tribute to Charlie Richardson, and he has been a team forever with his wonderful wife Nancy Lesson, who's here with us, and we have and it's her family, and so we welcome them all to this service and remembrance of Charlie. I would like to, just because Sarah Furo is away and could not be here, she worked during the early founding days of Military Families Speak Out. And as a Gold Star family member, I will also say Gold Star Families Speak Out. So it is a group that has been committed to really bringing the troops home and taking care of them when they get here. So in Sarah's words, warmth, community, strength, and practical help, these are the gifts offered by Charlie Richardson and Nancy Lesson to military families who thought we were all alone as our country once again invaded nations who were helpless against our bombs and military force. At a time when our son was swept into the mar of wars we knew were wrong and disastrous, Charlie and Nancy taught our family how to speak up about the injustice of using young people to protect the economic interests of big corporations. They showed each of us, spread all over the country, we were a voice for justice and sanity.
Stop all wars! 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 Stop all wars!
This year is 67 years since the dropping of the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. I think I have my math right. And thank God we have not had another nuclear catastrophe. But we want to pay respect to all those who lost their lives in Hiroshima and Nagasaki today. And we have two very distinguished speakers, and David Rothhauser, made a film, Hibakusha, which means survivors of Hiroshima. And he's with us today. He's also a member of the Smedley Butler Brigade. And we have Kasu Campbell, who is a survivor of Hiroshima. It's Kasu Campbell is a survivor of Hiroshima who's here to speak with us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Yes, I'm 80 years old. I was born more or less worst time in Japan, Japanese history was beginning, and lived through. Anyhow, okay. The school year every year starts in April, so I was 12 to becoming 13 years old, and I was going to apply for the supposedly best school in Hiroshima by moving to my grandparents' house and then commuting it by train, local train. However, at the last minute, when I could send out application to this school in the city, my parents thought it's ridiculous for you to go there right now. And I reluctantly gave that up. That's why I'm here today. If I joined that group, 245 people in the first year of that good school that my mother was supposed to have gone and had a great education, everyone died. And I wouldn't be here. So I went to the local school, and I usually talk about my experience. I was in a local school. It's a historically very well known cultural town, and every year I talked about what I saw in that local school. It's 25 miles or so away from Hiroshima, and everyone successfully went to school and graduated. And then the next year I moved to Hiroshima and then went to school where I wanted to go. And I saw how Hiroshima people tried to survive and work for the peace. And I usually talk about that experience. However, this year, one of my best girlfriends who had a horrible experience, she was a beautiful woman, but deep cut here that no one medical treatment could erase. And she didn't say anything about it. I didn't even know what she went through. I know her mom died and her sister died and all that story, but she didn't say. This year they published this book, Prayer for Peace, and people finally started talking about their experience. So
and we jointly together honor and show respect for their loss through this war, the Iraq War. And so we're really pleased to say hello and welcome all of our Iraqi friends here today that are here. You know, what they've been through is, I can't imagine. And I'm sure none of you can imagine going to because of a war, going to a strange land and I have a problem moving to the next neighborhood, let alone new land, and my wife will tell you that. And so, anyway, we're really pleased today to have Dr. Ali with us, and he's going to speak on Memorial Day and peace in Iraq. Dr. Ali? I should add that Dr. Ali has only been here for 2 months.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to honor our heroes, to remember their achievements.
Close to the mic, close to the mic. Talk closer. Step a little closer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to honor our heroes, to remember their achievement, their courage, which wasn't wild but thoughtful, and their dedication, and also to say thank you for their sacrifice. Today we stand in the midst of patriots and the families and the friends of our hero. Many of our heroes didn't ask to leave their home to fight on a distant battlefield. They didn't go to the war because they love fighting. They called to something bigger than themselves. They are ordinary people who respond to extraordinary ways in extreme times. Those wrote the nation call because they want to protect nation which has given them so much. For me and other Iraqi people here, we lost 1 million of innocent Iraqi people in last several years. Another millions left the country seeking for peace in America, Europe, Australia, and neighboring countries. We were more likely to say we experience negative emotion such as sadness, stress, and anger than to say we felt enjoyment and happiness. Here in Boston, this place of so many memories. We remember the barbaric explosion of Boston Marathon, who shows clearly that we are all Muslims, Christian, Jewish, and other religions alike are subject to the atrocities committed by terrorists. Ladies and gentlemen, we must always remember that peace is a fragile thing, needs constant vigilance. We must maintain peace by staying strong. We must be strong enough to create peace and protect it. Let us unify our effort to build a world without war, without hatred, but filled with peace and friendship. Thank you for your attending today. God bless you and your family. God bless Iraq. God bless America. Thank you.
I'm like a proud papa, and I skipped over Webb, but he's going to wrap everything up when we're done. The Shandy family, when they first arrived, we got very involved in helping them in any way we can, and it's a wonderful family. The father is a master jeweler who they had to leave Iraq because he was making something for the Americans, and his whole family was threatened with death, and he went to Jordan. And they were there for a couple of years as refugees there, and he made some jewelry there. In fact, when President Obama visited Jordan, the president of Jordan, king of Jordan, picked a piece that Zuhair had made to give to Obama as a gift, and that's how good he is. He's now started a pizza shop and drink it. You know, North End Pizza. If you want great pizza, go to drink it. And the family have gotten very close with all the family. And when they first arrived, we had a friend at where's Mary Todd? And oh, there she is, Mary Todd and Mary McValley People for Peace, and we got together and we got them into her and Raya and her sister Hiba into Phillips Academy for a summer program, and then we chipped in and we paid for a tutor so they could learn English and get a step up for reading. And I'm proud to say that for the last 3 semesters, Raya has been on the National Honor Society, and she just received a full scholarship to UMass Boston. So she's here today to read a poem for us called I Am. Raya.
My name is Raya Shandi, and I'm from Iraq. My family and I, we have been here for almost 4 years. My family today, they came with me to share these special moments. I would like to introduce my family. My mom, Haura, Isa, my brother, and my little sister, Rasul. I wrote a poem, but before I share it, I would like to remember the members of my family that we lost during war. My uncles are Ahmad Shandi, Dawood Shandi, Yusuf Shandi, Muhammad Darwish, Gani Shandi, Saad Darwish, and my little brother who got killed too. His name is Dawood Zuhair.
Presente.
Presente. The title of the poem is I Am. I'm one human being living in a world full of sorrow. I wonder if I'll be alive tomorrow. I hear gunshots and children crying, but what can I do? I see blood in the streets. Will that be me too? I want peace. I dream big, yet I feel so small. I pretend that I can do it all. I worry about how powerless I really am. I understand that someday we should all take a stand. I dream of a world that's better. I hope we will soon fix this together. I'm that power, that hope, and that future.
Private First Class Matthew A. Lance Corporal Jeffrey Michael Lucy.
Sergeant James. Sergeant Gregory M. Staff Sergeant Joseph P. Galavio. Specialist E. Benson. Staff Sergeant Alicia A. Burchett. Sergeant Michael Fiono. First Lieutenant Joshua L. Booth. Corporal Jeremy Paul Buffard. Specialist Matthew G. Boulet. Private Michael
I will say Faisal al-Saad and his friend Mustafa al-Hadithi, who got killed 3 days ago in Iraq. So, presente. Saif al-Saad. Hanouf Hamad, child. Halima Abdul Razak. Ali Abdul Wahid. علي عبد الواحد. حواسن السعد. هاني السعد. مسلم عبد المحسن. عقيل طالب.
Of Afghani civilians who've been killed in the war. Can I have someone come up and read these? These are Iraqis.
I'd like to just mention one other Iraqi person. I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but our good friend Saba Al-Qadiyah here in Boston, his wife died in outside of Mosul, and I think her name is Zaina. I'm not sure, but I think it's Zaina. So we'd like to remember her also. She's in the Boston Iraqi group. I'm going to read a list of Afghan civilian deaths. Satiq Razul, age 6, from Jalalabad. Presente. Netmatullah Hazrat, age 7, Kabul. Presente. Sarah Mahai, age 20, Kabul. Presente. Zamina Amanullah, age 7, Kabul. Presente. Syed Nasim Aga, age 55, Kandahar. Presente. Bilal Ghulam Rasul, age 4, Kabul. Khalid Ghulam Rasul, age 6, Kabul. Saman Ghulam Rasul, age 9, Kabul. Juarez Ghulam Rasul, age 12, Kabul. Nazira Saeed Mir, age 21, Kabul. Aziza Kuja Fajir, age 23, Kabul. Zakoria Razul, age 30, Kabul. Sophie Kazem, age 39, Kabul. Sarah Mohammed, age 20, Kabul. Akhtar Bibi, age 14, Chowka Kariz. Najia Bibi, age 15, Chowka Kariz.